I finally saw Bugonia and it was every bit as disturbing as I thought it was going to be. It's a Yorgos Lanthimos film, so shouldn't really have been expecting anything otherwise. Hi, I'm Tomiwa and I love to share my takes on film, television, pop culture, books, you name it. Bugonia is a 21st century commentary on human nature and on some level the dangers of corporate greed. Let's get into it. Bugonia is this word that describes this old ancient practice and belief that the burning of oxen resulted in the birth, spontaneous creation of bees. It sounds very absurd, but this was a genuine belief and honestly a very befitting title for the contents of this film. What I found very interesting about this film when I was doing some research was the fact that it's not original. It's actually based off a South Korean film, Save the Green Planet. Honestly, is a very similar film. It's the same film. It's literally the same film. The only major things that were changed were Emma Stone's character being gender swapped. In the original, it was a man's role, and the role that the character of Dawn played being Teddy's cousin. In Save the Green Planet, the partner of the protagonist was actually his girlfriend. An interesting contrast when you look at Bugonia and how Teddy is not only Don's cousin, but is also chemically castrated. Yikes. In true Yorgos Lanthimos fashion, Bugonia deals with the absurd. There's never a sort of straightforward Yorgos Lanthimos film. It's something that I've come to expect from his content, his material. It's who he is and can't hold that against him, especially because his movies always kick ass at the end of the day.
You're quite mad.
Stop talking, as your sounds make Bella angry.
Not stop talking. If I have something to say out.
Sure, they might be weird, sure, they might be absurd, but this man knows how to put a film together. Bugonia essentially revolves around these two cousins who have hatched this plot to kidnap a CEO who they believe to be an alien of Andromedan species. It's this deep conspiracy that they have, or at least one of them, Teddy, has been deeply researching for quite some time now. And the opening sequences deal with, their preparation, the absurd things they do to prepare for the kidnapping of this supposed alien. And of course, the CEO in question is portrayed by Emma Stone, who is known to be Yorgos Lanthimos' muse. The last couple of films of Yorgos Lanthimos have featured Emma Stone in front and center, and remarkably, not one of these characters is quite like the other. Now, I haven't seen Kinds of Kindness, but I have seen Poor Things, and Poor Things is just so meticulously curated and I liked it. Absurd as it was, I liked it because there was a lot going on and in the best way too. Visually, it was a treat. Sonically, it was a treat. And notably, the man who worked on the score for Poor Things, Jerskin Fendrix or Yerskin Fendrix, I'm not too sure how his name is pronounced, also worked on the score for Bugonia, which explains so much. It was so beautiful. I remember being so struck by the soundtrack as I was watching this. I'm like, wow. It was very space opera, science, epic, beautiful work across the board. He really did capture the essence of the film in the most absurd possible way. But yeah, he did get the job done, and big up to him. Jerskin Fendrix, you deserve all your flowers. It's not hard to see why Emma Stone snagged another Oscar nomination with this performance. This woman, she's something else. All in all, she's a talent. She's the definition of raw talent and, commitment. Her agreeing to even go bald for this role, I'm not going to give her points for that because, she's not the first to do it. She's not the first to go bald for a role. Like, I hate to say it. But yeah, I do feel like she would be deserving of the Oscar if she gets it for Bugonia. I don't think she will though. I doubt she will. Who should have gotten the Oscar nomination? Jesse Plemons. I remember being so rattled, so deeply uncomfortable with his portrayal. It tells me he did a good job, basically, because as an actor, your job is to compartmentalize who you are and bring another person to life. Absurd and disturbing as they may be, you have to play them as truly as possible, as authentically as possible. That's what he does, you know? I genuinely believe he's this crazy flat earther. I think one of the darkest points in Bugonia is the climax where Don has just shot himself. Teddy has just killed the police officer guy who was supposedly abusing him as a child. Yikes. Emma Stone's character Michelle has just sent Teddy on this doomed quest to inject his mother, who's in a coma, with antifreeze, effectively killing her. And Emma Stone is basically at this point going through, you know, the hidden parts of this home, finding severed human body parts. That's never really a treat for the eyes. You know, I was uncomfortable because what's happening? Finding out that she's not even the first Andromedan that he's supposedly taken and tortured. Grim. Very, very grim. And then, you know, in the course of her pretending to be the alien overlord he has in mind, she spills a lot about the Andromedans feeling guilt for accidentally killing dinosaurs and then proceeding to create humans in their own image, and then discovering that human beings are vile and lethal and lacking of depth and sensibility and sensitivity, and just essentially being a very flawed project, so to speak. And he's hanging on her every word, and we as the audience are hanging on her as well, because she seems like you know, we're really buying what she's selling, we're really picking what she's putting down. It was something, and I'm like, okay, is this how she escapes this very violent, harmful situation? Look, I'm very ashamed of myself. I'm very ashamed of myself for not at least holding on to the slightest suspicion that she was in fact the alien overlord that he suspected her, believed her to be. I was disappointed in myself. I'm sorry. Truly, I was disappointed in myself. That was the only thing I felt at that point in time, because wow, Tomiwa, wow. I do wish Jesse Plemons got an Oscar nod for the work he did in Bugonia, but you can't win them all, understandably so. Now for some honesty, for me, Bugonia fell flat. It felt flat. It felt like the recipe was there, everybody's fingers were, you know, kind of in there, but somewhere along the line, some touch was lost, some edge was lost. It felt like I could understand what they were trying to tell me, but it was like they never really did tell me what they were trying to tell me. You know, I feel like with Save the Green Planet, the themes of climate change and environmental destruction and dangers of human exuberance and corporate greed and all of that really do come together and really do sell the story, sell the message that's trying to be passed across. But with Bugonia, yeah, the movie did feel like a puzzle missing a couple of pieces. Like there was a little bit here and there and here and there and here and there that could have been added to really round everything out and really give this movie the flesh and the substance and the structure it needed. Particularly bearing in mind that this is a remake. It's something about the fancy, ethereal name Bugonia to distract you from the fact that it is in fact a remake and it's not in fact an original concept. If I hadn't heard, you know, that it was an adaptation, a remake of something, I'd have a very, very different opinion of what it is that I sat down for about 2 hours to watch. But it was, you know, and when we're talking remakes, when we're talking adaptations, it's a little bit more than changing things stylistically and aesthetically and thematically. You have to keep the tempo up. You have to really drive home the message that you are trying to drive home. For me, perhaps it could be a failure of interpretation. I'm not above that, but for me, the takeaway kind of felt like you're superstitious, you're paranoid, you're anxious, you're a conspiracy theorist. Well, chances are you're probably right. Come off it. Visually, Bugonia is a treat, similar to Yorgos's other work. Bugonia is a visual treat. Basically, every scene that's shot in Michelle's office, Oxolith, is beautifully done, and a very interesting choice of framing here, a very interesting choice of lighting there, and overall, the choice of aspect ratio, the style with which certain characters are shot, specific angles, everything about this film, well put together as a project. It's not without its hiccups, but it's very much still a work of art. And what is art if not subjective? Thanks for tuning into this episode of Tomiwa'S Takes. If you agreed with the things I said, or if you really did not, leave something for me in the comments. If you really did like and enjoy this episode, leave me a like, and of course, subscribe. It's been me, and it's been real. Bye.